Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I received another package for the wagon. I've spoken, I believe, in the past about wanting to get a diff cover for the diff. It is known to be a bit of a weak spot for the Borg Warners. After a long wait, mine has finally arrived. So I've ordered a TA Performance Borg Warner diff cover. So the part number is a TA 1802. These are meant to be the best thing out there. In saying that, there have been some people that don't rate them. In my opinion, I think the more you can do to strengthen the diff, the better it's going to be. So I went ahead and got one anyway. Let's see how it goes. So, alright, so I ordered this. It had to come from America. So I have already opened it. Sorry, because I was a big kid and I wanted to see what it was like. So out of the box, you get your instruction manual, you get the cover itself, which is a fairly beefy unit, you get all the hardware, nuts, bolts, a gasket. Now I did also get, there is a version that comes with stud kits. They claim on their website that these are made by ARP. Now I'm not going to say they are or they aren't, but they do recommend the stud kit version, which just changes where the bearing caps go from having just a bolt to an actual stud kit. So I went with that option. I had to buy this off eBay. I couldn't get one actually out of the States for a good price. That wasn't just ridiculous. Or there are suppliers in Australia, but they just seem to want a lot of money for the same thing. So I got this from America. Again, took a fair few weeks to get here, but now it's arrived. Now I also have in the box this little spacer. Now on the Borg Warner in the wagon, obviously these two bolts, I believe, or it might be these ones, hold the bracket for your T-piece for your brake line. The way the hardware mounts with these, it'll foul on parts. So I've got this to be able to cut it down to then space it out so I can obviously still run all the bracketry like normal. The next fun thing though, and this is where I'm hoping to be able to be as informative as I can, is these things are very thick. That's obviously where you get the strength from, but at the moment, this is a bit of a gamble, whether this will fit in the car. Two things, panhard bar, I have a feeling I'm going to have to space the panhard bar off the diff a bit because it's going to foul, it's just going to smash into the back of the casing. And potentially even, I'm still concerned about where the sway bar is to how close of a tolerancer is there. The sway bar I'm a little bit more happy with. I think it'll be fine, but the panhard bar I think is going to create issues. Only way we're going to find out though is by getting it up on the hoist and seeing what the go is. But again, these are such a good unit. They hold more oil. They just strengthen it up. You have the pins here that put pressure onto the back of your bearing caps to stop the diff from trying to push itself out, because that's known to be a fatigue point in the Borg Warners, is where the front pinion crush washer tries to squash itself too much and then push the gears out the back basically, and it just destroys the diff. So this is meant to help with that. So I want to get this on the diff. The wagon obviously doesn't make enough power to necessarily justify it, but I'd rather do it once, do it right. And I thought I'll take you along for it to see how much of a joy or a hassle it could be to install this on the back of our cars. So I'll pack this all back up in the box. We're going to head to Josh's, put up on the hoist, and see what's got to be done. So let's go. Alright guys, so we're at Josh's now. I've gone a few steps ahead from when you last seen. I went and got the bearing caps machined down just a smidge, just so they can take the cover of the diff housing. They're both done. Again, doesn't need much taken off. But again, just so those buttons can put pressure on there. Got them torqued back in. So Gregory's manual recommends 60 Newton meters, so that's where we went. We went to use the bolts. Now they are ARP. We did find out that they are, but unfortunately the thread pitch is different on these to the Commodore Borg Warners. So whether or not these will work on earlier Chrysler Borg Warners or even the Falcon ones, I'm not 100% sure, but obviously when it comes to the Commodores, they are different. So you can't use these bolts, or the studs I should say, in these. you have to just run with the originals, which that's fine. So we'll give this another quick clean up, get the cover back on, and start doing the rest of it. So let's go. So I've got the diff cover on, just modifying the bracket for the brake line holder to go into that bolt there. Because of the bracing in the back, you got to modify it because it won't go on properly. So that's all in there. I'm going to torque them up in a second. Now I'll show you the bracket Josh has made with the adapter. So we've got to adapt out the Panhard bar by 16mm. So here's some spaces that Josh has machined up. There you go, they slide on. He's machined an extra length for the original bolt, so nothing's chopped or modified. Everything can be converted back to factory if I wanted to. That's the spaces it out, and then these two spaces help line all that up so the Panhard bar can go on as well. Potentially, if anyone does want to do this down the track, I can supply more information required if you need to on what was made to make this. But yeah, this is what will make it possible to then have the Panhard bar on without fouling the thickness of the housing. No real downside from what I can see. You're only moving the bar out a smidge. It might have a little bit extra wear on the rubber bushing, but for what this car is, that doesn't faze me. Again, it is white line suspension, so the bushing is a little bit nicer than what the old OE one is. But anyway, let's keep going, we'll get it all together. Right, so there you have it. So everything's now installed. You can see we've got some clearance between there. One thing I do have to add, this bottom hole, again, the BorgWarner on the Commodores, I'm not sure, obviously, the Valiant versions or whatnot of these that ran BorgWarners, these bolts are all the same, even in the bottom one, but on the Commodores, this is a drain plug. Obviously it has one in the aftermarket case, but that has to be drilled out, and we got a different bolt that looks the same, basically, to match. But that had to be drilled out so that it got bolt in. But we got it all torqued up, modified the brake bracket so it holds that. Again, there's the spacers, so that's just shifted it out. Again, that'll clear up the top as well. Again, clearance there, tight, but you'll make it. But that's the final bit done. So we'll lower them down and just double check everything, but that should be it to go. Alright guys, so there's the final result. So looking pretty good, all nice and tight, nice and stout. Should make it pretty strong in the back end now. Again, any help, if anyone wants to do this, by all means hit me up. I can give you information. It's pretty straightforward once you know what's going on. So just a few spaces made up and a few bits and pieces, she's all good to go. But anyway, that's the end of this video. We'll catch you again next time, guys. Cheers. For everyone that watched all the way to the end, just a quick one. I did go and get the wipers painted. I've had a fair few people comment about the wipers matching the same white colour of the car. So I went and got a mate to paint them black. So for everyone, there you go. Cheers guys.